Good morning. Welcome inside our studio. I'm Rebecca Lowe. Robbie, Earle, Tim Howard alongside me this morning. Plenty of action we're getting to in the next few hours for you this Saturday, and then a really busy Sunday as well. But Monday, I mentioned there that Nottingham Forest are playing for the second consecutive week. They lost to Leicester 4-0 yesterday, and last Monday. And many people felt, Tim, that going into this Monday's game, they'd be on the hunt for a new manager. But no, not only are they not on the hunt for a new manager, but yesterday, Steve Cooper was given a new contract until 2025. The day before, it was almost a given that he was going to be fired. How do you read the situation?
Confusing. Happy for Steve Cooper and Nottingham Forest. He's done a really good job. He's done a really good job at the football club. Results haven't been great, clearly, this season. A lot of managers rumored in the last few days, so we know how the Premier League works. When that happens, usually people lose their job. In fact, it was the opposite. He got a new contract. They brought in a new director of sport in Filippo Giraldi. That, to me, shows that it's a sign that things weren't right above the manager's head. And when I say that, Nottingham Forest brought in signed 22 new players in the summer. No manager that I know would recommend or suggest to his ownership group that they bring in 22 new players. It's just too difficult to manage. But that happened. So that tells me that was above his head, and now that's why we're seeing a reshuffle. And
interestingly, on those 22 managers, it would be really unfair to then, if it wasn't his choice, then bring a new manager and say, now you deal with these 22 players who barely know each other, let alone you know them. And this is what Steve Cooper's trying to do right now. He's making ground week by week. But as Tim says, it's really hard. So surely give him more of a chance.
Well, I think because he's down the road with these 22 players, that he does know some of the personalities, that he's starting to figure out the balance and the chemistry and all the things that successful teams have. I think that's helped him. By the way, he must have had David Blaine as his agent, because that's magic that you go in and think you're losing your job, you get a 3-year contract and you're in pole position. I do think that he's got credit in the bank. This time last year, they were bottom half of the Championship, no real signs of getting promoted. He got Forest back into the Premier League after such a long time away. I think that it looks like the players are still playing for him. That's a bonus. They've lost 5 straight games on the bounce, Rebecca, and that usually is a time that things are going to go wrong. What I would say is, don't sit back too comfortably, Steve. You've got a new contract, but if we get to the World Cup break and he's bottom of the table, points adrift, he could still go. That is the position that Forest are in. He's got an owner who's sacked people in his other clubs, Olympiacos, who's sacked a manager. If he's not in contact with the rest of the league, Steve Cooper could still lose his job.
Which ultimately, Tim, means the contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. We know that anyway. So the fact that he got a new contract yesterday...
It's confusing.
I mean, does it really mean too much? We should remind everybody at home as well that it was 23 years since Nottingham Forest were in the Premier League, and he is the one that no one else could do it. He brought them up, so surely he should get more of a chance in just 8 games to keep them there. I want to talk about another manager who finds himself under pressure, similarly to Steve Cooper, and that's Ralph Hasenhüttl. Been in the job a lot longer, goes to Manchester City today after 4 defeats in their last 5. Not the place that you really want to spend your Saturday afternoon. How do you read the Hasenhüttl job safety situation?
Not great, Rebecca. And when rumours are coming out that this could be his last game, when you're facing Earle and Haaland, 14 Premier League goals, 3 hat-tricks in his last 3 Premier League home games, not good. A manager who's had some 9-0 defeats along the route. Managers keep their job or lose their job, for me, 3 things. Results and performances. Transfers in and out. Dressing room temperature. Ralph's not getting results. The temperature in the dressing room suggesting 1 or 2 people not happy. Now, he's gone down the road of youth. They've taken players from academies. He's gone potential. He wants time. He loses heavily today. I think he loses his job.
But anyone can lose heavily to Manchester City. I mean, surely one game is like
timing,
after
Rebecca,
Manchester City. Timing,
of
course, and he's had a couple of 9-0s, and hopefully for their sake it's not another 9-0 today. But you mentioned youth. That's what his philosophy is. I'm going to get loads of really young players and I'm going to coach them to be better, and then we'll probably sell them on for more money. So if you're going to back him and give him that philosophy in real life and bring in all those young kids, you can't then just fire him because somebody else might come in who doesn't have that philosophy.
Well, Southampton has backed him. His results haven't been brilliant over the last few seasons. They stayed up. But I agree with Robbie that when you lose a dressing room, people say that all the time, that he's lost a dressing room. But when players aren't on side with the manager, there's big problems. And yes, he's brought in youth, and he should be given time to cultivate that youth. But 3 wins out of the last 20 and 3 straight defeats, it doesn't make for good reading. A heavy defeat today, owners are human. I always say that they're human. They are going to react to what they're hearing, what they're seeing. It doesn't look good for Southampton. They're not playing well. There's not an air of confidence about this team. And his senior players, who are the ones I believe, he's not lost the young players. Young players are going to be happy to be playing football, to be brought in the football club. If he's lost some of those players, it's the senior players. And that also doesn't make for good reading. And ownership will know that.
Do you think the club need to change?
I've thought that for a little bit, yeah. But again, it's a little bit, with respect to Southampton, it's a little bit easy down in the South Coast. There's not a ton of pressure on that football club.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.